This is the Omega Planet Ocean 600-meter GMT. It is essentially a Planet Ocean diver, but with the traditional true GMT complication added. Some watch collectors refer to this model as the Omega Oreo, just due to the monotone look of the black and white color scheme. While all Planet Ocean divers have at least one noticeable accent color, this one doesn't. It's nothing but black, white, and gray. In fact, the only color found on the watch will be the pink synthetic rubies and the red text on this in-house 8906 coaxial movement. Now, this model is not new. It's been out for a few years, but it has been noticeably harder to find. It seems that Omega does not make that many of this specific color scheme, this specific complication. It's not even available currently on Omega's e-commerce website. So in that regard, I'd like to thank Exquisite Timepieces for sending this in for me to feature. Exquisite is my Omega authorized dealer. I've bought from them many times over the years. I regularly work with them to create content on luxury watches. So if you are shopping any Omega model, I will recommend them and leave a link to their site in the description below. Now let's start with the fit and finish. There is no denying that this is a beautiful watch. It's expertly finished. It has excellent wrist presence. Just as there is no denying that this is a large watch and a tall one at that. Not everyone will have the wrist or the desire to pull this off in a day-to-day type of situation. I think this Oreo is best suited to those who like a substantive sport watch fit, to those who enjoy a weighty or hefty, powerful feeling daily driver. I measure this model in at 17 millimeters in total height, and that is to the top of this domed sapphire crystal that has a very effective, actually multiple layers of ARC applied. 17 is a serious dimension. In fact, that's nearing what many would consider a proper lug width. Some may even say that this dimension is a deal breaker, and there is no reason to wear a watch this tall. It's impractical, or even in some cases, I think some of you might find this height somehow offensive. Now, I don't normally wade into the dimension deal breaker discussion because I don't pay too much attention to nominal dimensions, at least some of them. They can be deceiving. I've worn large watches that wear very comfortably. I've worn small watches that wear comfortably. I've worn thin watches, thick watches. I can pretty much pass off anything 35 to 45 millimeters in diameter, case diameter, just depending on how it wears. So for myself, I find the lug-to-lug distance more important than case height or case diameter, just in determining a comfortable fit. So I will say this, the sloping nature of these beautiful lyre-style lugs, paired with the fitted strap, the conical bezel, the sub 50 millimeter lug-to-lug distance, it makes this surprisingly wearable. I would even say comfortable. I don't know that I would want to wear a watch this hefty every day, but I think it would be perfectly suitable for me on most days. So specifically, to those of you watching that are interested in this watch but maybe feeling a little apprehensive about the dimensions, I wouldn't worry about it. The watch wears well. I have no complaints, and for reference, my wrist circumference is 7.25 inches. Now let's talk details. I'll show the dial under my macro lens. The base dial is a flat black zirconium dioxide or ceramic. It has a reflective finish, and there is a date complication at the 3 o'clock position that will be color matched to the dial. This Planet Ocean has some great applied elements. This Omega logo and signature, the GMT designation, the 12, 6, and 9 Arabic markers are all polished metal. The other applied markers are large, polished finish, and deep filled with superluminova. The hands are the classic broad arrow style and are, like everything else, polished and dimensional. The light printing found on the remaining text, the minute indexing, it looks white from a distance, but under magnification, it's actually thick silvered printing, and I think the details of the dial really look great under the macro lens. Now here's the lume shot. Like all Seamaster models, this is a bitone lume application. Most of the lume is a cyan blue color, while the bezel pip and the minute hand is a light green color. The lume is very potent, it's long lasting, and I think Omega did a really nice job with it. This is the tactile action of the bezel. It's snappy and mechanical. It moves in both directions. It won't be subtle and quiet like a Rolex GMT Master 2. It definitely feels more like an Omega dive bezel, but just being able to be spun in either direction. Lastly, I would like to show you the movement. Like all new Omega movements, this is a Metis certified caliber, meaning it has passed some very strict requirements for accuracy, for water resistance, for shock resistance, for magnetic resistance, and power reserve. Omega calls this a master chronometer. The testing is more exhaustive and more thorough than standard COSC requirements that will make up a basic chronometer. This testing will occur while the movement is cased, as opposed to COSC testing, which takes place with just the movement only. This caliber has a free-sprung style balance, an anti-magnetic silicon balance spring. It beats at 3.5 hertz or 25,200 times every hour. The power reserve value is 60 hours, and instead of a common quick set date complication, this will have that true GMT complication, meaning you can bump the local hour hand forward or backward in 1 hour intervals that are independent of hacking the balance and thereby interrupting the timekeeping. So you can adjust the date here in either direction just by bumping this hour hand forward or backward. And this is my favorite of the common or more practical complications. And I will say I recommend wearing the watch or winding the watch or setting it down in a winder when you don't plan to wear it, because if you let the power reserve die and then you say wait 2 weeks to set the time, it means quite a few spins of the crown to get the date in the proper designation. It's the reason why some will prefer a less sophisticated dual time style GMT just so they retain the quick set date. I'm not in that camp, but it is something to be aware of. Overall, I find this Oreo a beautiful monotone sports piece. It has some serious water resistance and a thoroughly contemporary feel. I think that the fit and finish is noticeably nice, and although this does look sharp on this fitted rubber alligator hybrid strap, I think the way to go is spending the $400 premium for the Planet Ocean bracelet. It's a really good bracelet. It has a great quick adjust clasp. So just in closing, if you have the size preference to pull this watch off, I think it is a very satisfying model that you really don't see many of. That being said, let me know if you have any questions. I will respond to you in the comment section. If you are shopping any Omega model, including this Oreo, please reach out to my friends at Exquisite Timepieces. A link will be below. And lastly, if you got something from this presentation and can help me out by liking and subscribing to my channel, I would really appreciate that. Thank you.